Hi guys, it's Melinda from Hope When There Was None. I hope you're having a great day. I am coming to you because I've been kind of brainstorming, and this is nothing, these are all serious topics, but this is a little bit what I'm thinking that I'm going to be blogging and videoing about over 2019. And I don't know whether it'll be a weekly thing or once a month. You know, it's just I do these things when I have time. I usually fly by the seat of my pants. I don't always plan. I try to. I keep like a little notebook. It's my scribblings, and I try to keep my thoughts, that sort of thing, written down so I can say, okay, this is what I'm going to do. So I know I have some plans with, I know I briefly talked about with a gal named Michelle, we talked about doing something live online, and hopefully I'm thinking that might be a Zoom call that we do. I have to get back with her, so I'm pretty excited about that, and to set up a date with that. Also, I am going to be with beautiful Miss Amanda. She is also a new author, but she deals with a lot of young adult stuff. With that, we were thinking that we could touch on some of the topics that are important to young adults, teens, and that sort of thing. So we're hoping to touch on that. So I promised I wouldn't touch my hair, but I'm seeing it in here. Anyway, let's get back to this. So videos, I'm thinking, and if you have any suggestions or any thoughts on this, please let me know. I'm thinking topic for a video would be starting over. So once you get out of the relationship or whatever situation you're in, family relationship, what have you, what do you do then? So it's starting over. Also, another one, I don't want to pick another loser. How to avoid jumping into another abusive relationship. Okay. Also, I have nowhere to go. So when you get out, or when you're thinking of leaving your abuser, a lot of times you don't, because this is something that ran through my head, I know, and it must run through a lot of other folks. I have nowhere to go. So in order to jump, take that leap of faith, what do? So I'm going to do a video on that. Also, keeping calm in the midst of storms. When you're going through this, maybe you've left, and that's wonderful if you do. I'm proud of you if you get to that point and you do leave. What if you do leave? So how do you keep yourself calm when you're going through possibly court trials? Also, when you're dealing with the legal system, police, or maybe possibly that you have children that are involved and things are kind of wonky. So how are you going to be able to keep yourself calm through this? So I'll be coming along with some tips for that. And then also, verbal abuse. I'm going to hit, I mentioned before that I could actually talk about each of these topics separately for what type of abuse there is. So I'm going to blog about verbal abuse, mental abuse, physical abuse, financial abuse, cyber abuse, religious abuse, and elder abuse. Also, I'm going to be blogging about anxiety. So not only about the midst of the storms when we're going through these issues, but also anxieties. What do you do when you have these anxieties, when you have PTSD, depression, and so on? So we're going to touch on that. Also, children and abuse. So what can you do with your child when they are going through these emotions and different problems that they're having coping, whether they're in school, relationship issues, and going into the future, how you can help them. Also, I did 14 reasons why victims stay. But I'm going to blog about that too, because I want to kind of expand on it. Also, what do you do when you're dealing with police? How do you handle the situation? Many of us are kind of, once you start going through this process, you might actually have a little bit of maybe feeling intimidated. You might feel a little sad because you don't feel that anybody's helping you at all. They might be thinking that your complaints, your issues, your orders of protection are just temporary. They might just blow you off. And I hear that a lot, or they don't take you seriously, or your partner has turned it around so that you are actually the person that is found to be at fault. You might be so heated, you might get so angry, and on the flip side, it might look like you are the person that is causing all the issues. So I'd actually like to talk with a couple policemen to find out what their take is and what tips that I can give to you guys to help them investigate for the future. Also, contacting a shelter. So I did a blog post about a shelter, what to expect in a shelter, but what can you expect when you contact a shelter? So I want to do a blog about that. Suicide. suicide is a big one. Suicide is, I'd say it's always been there, but now with social media, it's just run rampant. I don't even hate to say it that way, but there are a lot of lost people out there. And I know, because I had been there, I had thought that, not that it would be an easy out, but that there would be no suffering. There would be no pain. I wouldn't be a burden to anybody else. And yeah, I know I felt like I was a burden, and I know in my head I wasn't. But I had a partner there that he made me out to feel like I was crazy. He made me out to feel that I was worthless. I was useless as a human being. And he would kind of feed all of my insecurities and all of my sadness and depression. He would feed that and agree, hey, you're right, you don't belong on here. People would be better off without you. So I want to touch on that, suicide as well, and what you can do to help somebody that is in that state. Also, drug and alcohol abuse. Hi guys, as a lot of survivors, a lot of victims, not only the abusers have these issues, but you want to escape as a victim. You want somehow to figure out how to get rid of the pain that you're going through. You don't want to be feeling the feeling that you're feeling, but you don't know how to channel that. So you might turn to maybe using a substance, perhaps drugs, alcohol, something that starts off innocently enough, but then it escalates into an issue where you have a problem, where you have a very, very big problem on top of the problem that you already have. And so I kind of want to go through some tips and suggestions on how to handle that. Now, honestly, I'm going to have to reach out to some folks that I know that have had these issues. I never got into that. Yes, I'm a social drinker, but very little. I mean, I think I told you all about me dancing on tables, if I have just one, maybe two. And yeah, me drinking is me regular, but amplified by 10. I kind of love everybody, and I'm hugging, and more than usual. But anyway, it is a very serious topic, and I don't mean to make light of it at all. So that is some of the topics that I do want to blog about. And again, getting back to the verbal abuse, I want to kind of break all those down. With the verbal abuse, I felt like there was a time where I would much rather have been hit. And I've talked to a few folks about this. I would much rather have been hit. I would rather have felt a punch or kick or whatever than to be told I was useless, told I was worthless, told I was this bad name. I would much rather have had that, because that, and I've said it before, and I hate to sound like a broken record, I don't want to be told I'm a bad person or anything like that, but those are forever etched on my mind. Those are forever etched in my soul and in my heart. Though I do try to do different things like the affirmations, and I read my Bible, I dig into that, and I'm always talking about the Lord and to God and saying, help me to get through this, and help me to stop this, and help, squash those demons that are trying to bring me down. But it's hard, guys, y'all. That is hard to do. And it's an everyday battle, because again, we are sometimes terrible to ourselves. We are our own worst enemies at times. So I do want to touch on that. Also, I think I said this already, I'm going to blog about it, what to say when someone's in an abusive situation, safety plan for leaving. And I do have some on my blog, Hope When There Was None, on blogspot.com. I do have some safety plans already written down for you. Also, healthy dating. So what boundaries are you going to be setting when you start going into this relationship with somebody new? So again, that might be how to pick somebody, a new person, but I might be talking about that. Well, thank you. I love you, cuzzo. I also, love bombing. We want to discuss some of these things, the flying monkeys, the love bombing, gaslighting. I want to touch on some of that too. And how do you change your behavior? Guys, this is so important, because you might think that, oh, my abuser needs to change. Well, you do too. What happens is this sets in motion these inner, what's the word I'm looking for? Your abuser sets in motion a chain reaction that then you carry with you for the rest of your life. And it might be that self-sabotage that I was talking about. You might then become to the point, you might come to the point where you don't trust anybody anymore. Who do you trust? Even family members that love you, friends that love you, you still might have these issues with, who am I going to trust? Is this person really for me or aren't they? So you might have some trust issues that I want to talk about that. So I want to discuss how we can change that behavior and how, I'm reading my notes, how you can change how you think of yourself. I'd like to do a vision board online separately, a vision board online. If anybody's up for that, it would be a Zoom call, and I'd have you guys get your own magazines together, and we would do this together online. And I might cheat and do a little bit more before we get started, because vision boards can be long. You can do one for a quick one for maybe 15-20 minutes, or these can go on for hours, depending on how many magazines you get. And I encourage you, if you decide to do this, do me a favor, reach out to your local libraries. Not only do some of them have them for sale, but they also give you the option, or excuse me, they might have the option of giving them away for free because they're going to just discard them. So contact your local libraries, doctor's offices, attorney offices. So if you're interested in doing that, please message me privately. I'd love to do this. And if you're local, I'd have you guys over to the house. Whoever's local, maybe a group of 10 or so, if anybody's interested. I am in the Morocco area, so if you know where Morocco, Indiana is, just message me. I'd love to get together. This will probably be after the holidays. I'm thinking maybe the third week in January, just as everything is kind of calmed down. But I love doing vision boards. Those helped me a lot in planning my life, my future. And again, I didn't only just do this in this vision board. I did a lot of prayer. I did a lot of lists. What do I want to see in my future? What do I want to bring to the table in my future relationships, my future friendships with people? And this helped me, and it works. I have had luck. I was just reading my prayer book, and in 2013 I had prayed to be able to bring domestic violence to the forefront and to the attention of anybody I could, and also to do some speaking engagements, and also to actually publish a book. So that was in 2013, and yay, it's happened, and it's happening now. And I shared this on another group. I feel like I'm kind of coming into my own right now, and it's not for me to be big-headed and for me to have this glory, because God's actually using me right now for this. So this is all the Lord. This isn't just for me, because if it was just for me, I would still be hiding, and I wouldn't be sharing, and I wouldn't be talking about this, because honestly, the human side of me is saying, no, shut up. But the rest of me, again, it's just a God thing. And if you don't have that relationship with the Lord or fallen away, I would really love to talk to you about that. I'm happy to. Just message me privately. And again, going forward, I can't wait to see what 2019 not only brings for me, but for you. If there's any topics, any help that you need, perhaps you need to file a protective order and you're local, or also you might need to go to court. I'm there. I'm your girl. Let me know. I'm happy to go with you. Things that we discuss, if we want to meet over coffee, this is private, guys. I'm not going to spread it all over the place. It's not anybody else's business. So if you want to get together, you want to bounce some ideas off of me, I'm happy to do so. Please reach out to me. Privately is cool. And we'll get together for some coffee. I would love to do that. Tea, coffee, soda, whichever. But I'm going to let you go. I have rambled on quite enough, and Mr. Awesome is messaging me right now. So we are going to do our drawing tonight, but at 7 we're having dinner and doing a little shopping. So it's going to be at 7 o'clock, God willing. If you don't see me on at 7, it might be a little later, but I'm hoping for it to be at 7 o'clock. You still have time to enter into the drawing. I have about 12 wonderful people that are entered, and a few of them are entered more than once because they've shared my page more than once. So if you haven't jumped onto that, please do so before our drawing, and I'm happy to enter you. But I love you. I'll let you go. Talk to you later. God bless you, and have a great weekend. I'll see you soon.